So, so welcome. I know you traveled a good distance to see us here today, so thank you for coming up from Florida. So let's go all the way back to the beginning and tell us a little bit about where you're from. Tell us a little bit about what your childhood was like and how you first got started in real estate.
Yeah, I come from, you guys know Buckeye Lake area. I actually went to school at Liberty Union, small town, 650 people, no cops, no stoplights. Your neighbor knows what you do before you do it kind of thing and calls your parents. Come from a small town, like I said, my parents, they're still doing the same things. They make about $35,000, $40,000 a year, not knocking. It's just a reality. I wanted more than that. Great people, just financially, we didn't understand what it meant to have money, save money, grow money, kind of investing. And I remember 16, 17 years old, laying in bed, listening, watching TV, lifestyles of the rich and famous. How are all these people getting rich and this and that? And it always came back to real estate. And barely graduated high school, 1.8, not bragging, just sharing the facts. Never went to college. Just to me, I think really real estate's an equalizer of all people. It doesn't matter what you look like, how you act, and all that stuff. I mean, you guys all, if you're in the business, you've definitely met some characters that make money. And for me, it's like, I think this is my path. So I was very entrepreneur as a kid as well. Bought a seamless gutter company, owner financing, no money down kind of deal back in the day at 18 years old. Was working for these guys in Columbus, which is like about 45-minute drive for us. And I'm putting gutters on houses, and these guys are pulling up in Porsches with cigars. And I'm like, what do you do? Like, oh, real estate investing. They pay me cash and go on their way. And I was like, well, 3 people say it, 4 people say it. I probably should start paying attention. 5th guy said it, and he's like, I'm a real estate investor. I'm like, how do you do that? And I'm doing all the work. He's making the money. At least that's what I thought. And I saw a seminar thing come on TV. I went to a 3-day event and said, I can do that. I mean, there's no magic to it. And Russ Whitney was his name, and I become friends with him later. But just getting out there in the business and started.
How long ago was that?
I was 20 years ago. It was 1996.
So what then were your steps coming out of that? What were the first thing you do and you wanted to become a real estate investor?
Mess up. I mean, I'm still messing up every day to day. So I think the biggest thing, honestly, like the steps for me was go to the 3-day event. The guy's up there talking about something, listen, and implement it. Mm-hmm. I wasn't looking. I think a lot of people go to those things like, what's the angle? Here comes the big sell. I was so green, I didn't even know that was going on. Even though it did happen, but I didn't even know it. But I took from that, and I was dead poor. I was piss poor. I was like, oh, my God, how am I going to pay my bills? And, every day was like that for me. But I was not afraid of work. So I just literally just went and, this is old days. This is Columbus Dispatch, pick up the phone and make a call. Now everyone's got this amazing technology. You push 3 buttons, and you can close a deal.
Do you remember your first deal?
Yeah, partially. It's in Lancaster, Ohio. It was just a random deal. The guy... it was a small, 38-unit storage facility. I was driving by, and I saw a for sale sign. It was all crooked, and I was like, this guy's a motivated seller. Yeah. And I did it, put it together, wholesaled it, and made like $5,000. And I was rich. Yeah. I mean, it was the most money I ever had. It was crazy.
So let's talk about that time when you were first getting started. What were some of the early, mistakes is probably the wrong word, right, because we learn from everything. But what were some of the things, if you had to do again, you would do differently?
Nothing. I mean, the simple answer is nothing because it's got to me where I'm at today. Sure. I wouldn't have been investing deep in the hood because I almost got killed a couple times. That's one thing for sure. I'm trying to, honestly, I never even think about that side of it. Yeah. I'm just thankful that I could even be here doing what I do today. Yeah. So the negative side, I'm like, you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah. So can you talk about the progression of your early business days into where you began with? What was the goal? What was the dream in the early days, and where did it get you? What did you end up doing?
Well, I think the thing is, if I could share anything, I think the biggest thing, I didn't dream big enough. I remember being a kid laying in bed, 18, 19 years old. I wanted to make $100,000 a year. Yeah. That's nothing. Yeah. Knowing what I know now, my Amex bill's more than that in 2 weeks. But I'm laying in bed oh my gosh, $100,000 a year changed my life. And the truth is, I should have been saying 10 million and try to, and then miss it by 70% and still make 3 million, But 100,000, and I got comfortable. I became king of the dipshits. I was making the most money out of all my friends, and everyone's looking at me like, Mark, you're amazing, and I'm like, I feel like a loser. So I never pushed myself hard enough at the beginning stages. I made a lot of money as a kid, had no financial mentors at that point, and just blew it. You know, almost went bankrupt twice, had a lot of rentals. Thank God for cash flow. So just kept making every month I could wake up and have money in the bank. And then, you know, the city started cracking down on me because I was kind of a slumlord I was just being ignorant, not taking care of what I should have. Nearly went bankrupt and said, I don't like that feeling. And then I'm kind of hard-headed, so it happened again. Almost went bankrupt again, but didn't go bankrupt. That's how I learned how to wholesale. That's when I took my wholesaling business to the next level.
So that's what changed, right?
Yeah, doesn't feel good when you're about to go bankrupt.
Yeah, for sure.
When all your friends are looking at you like you're a genius, you know. Because I was making money, but I was spending so much money on the backside.
Yeah. It's not what you make, it's what you keep, right?
Yeah, it's what you keep and reinvest. Yes, that's right.
So can you talk us through that a little bit, that period in your life, how you made that transition from almost being bankrupt to wholesaling?
Well, I mean, it came out of necessity. If I didn't wholesale, I am going bankrupt.
So for those who aren't investors here in the audience, can you explain a little bit the difference between investing versus wholesaling, or is it one and the same, just different compartmentalized? Or
yeah, I think it's kind of the same. I mean, the fundamentals are. So investing for me was just more. I was like buying turnkey assets and putting tenants in it and managing them myself. More for a long-term play. Wholesaling literally is, I see Chris, he has a house for $10. I find Dave, he wants to pay $15. I get in the middle of it and make $5. You know, wholesale, you know, of course, contractually and all that, you do it the right way, because my lawyer's here, so I'm saying that. But of course, you would do it the right way. But that changed. I mean, I had out of necessity to figure out, like, how do I make, I think it was like 80 grand I needed quickly. How do I make $80,000 as fast as possible? And within 30-something days, I did it. So, and that's super doable today. Much easier now, for sure.
So talk us through how you grew your business in the early days. I know one of the reasons well, there's some obvious reasons, and for those of you that don't know, Mark and World Class Title and Kelly and I and Mark and Peter, we've been able to do a lot of business together the last few years. So obviously we selfishly wanted to bring you here, but the other piece of it is I'm blown away by the marketing that you all do and the monster monster is the wrong word, but the marketing beast that you all have in place. So can you talk a little bit about how you built your business in the early days, and then I want to get into some of the marketing, what we're talking about. You know, we're talking about some big numbers. We see the volume you guys are all doing, and I don't want to get into any trade secrets or anything, but I do want to talk about how do you market, how do you grow your business?
Yeah, I'll share all my secrets, because implementing secrets is the hard part. Knowing the secret's easy. Well, number one, I think a lot of people walk around and say, oh, I'm in business. The truth is I was not in business. I said I was in business because I didn't know anything else to say. A lot of these people, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. No, you're not. You're just you have a high-paying job working for a psycho, the psycho being myself, right? So if you read the E-Myth, the entrepreneur myth, or 10X rule and all those things, there's a lot of people out there that think they're in business, you know, and I'm not knocking agents and all that stuff, but as an agent, a lot of times, and investors as well, they think they're in business and they're just like, they have no business. If you don't have consistency and processes and procedures and people on your team, you're not in business at all. So what happened is, I made a decent amount of money wholesaling, and I was like, I like this feeling. I'm back on track. This is, 2096, 2002-ish, 3-ish. Met my girlfriend then, Dina. We started traveling. We traveled for a month, turned into 7 years. My wife and I traveled the world for 7 years. But the reason I bring that up is because it forced me to start thinking like a business owner. Because I'm like, wow, I like sitting on the beach doing deals, but how do you do that in a chest-to-chest business? Because real estate's chest-to-chest. You guys know that, right? Like, you meet people, you shake hands. Truth is, I've never met you guys. I mean, I don't know who half the people are here and have done business with me. They would know Peter or some other guys on my team. Not because, you know, I'm a jerk, but it's like I'm building the business, visionary, and then you have the implementers inside. And if you guys not read the book Traction by Gino Wickman, it's a great book if you want to grow a business. But for me, that's when it really started changing, like putting people and pieces in place and learning, like running a business and making money are two totally different things. I'm sure you guys would agree with World Class.
So let's keep going. So let's keep talking about what processes did you put in place early on that helped you? Because we're also talking about scaling, right?
Yep.
We're talking about from going from one to one to building a scalable, repeatable business.
Right.
So what were some of the things you learned early on that you're still doing today? I didn't tell you this is going to be easy, Mark.
Yeah, well, I stayed up all night studying for this. No marketing. I think the biggest key is you got to market. It's like a lot of people I meet are amazing people that should be making way more money. One, they're dreaming too small, and two, they just don't have marketing to back up their thing. Like if you only have 1 or 2 deals and that like you depend on that to happen to pay your bills, that's not a business. I mean, you're stressed out. We talked about this today at a mastermind I'm doing, and like if you don't, like that deal doesn't close, you're in trouble. You know, the problem isn't the deal. The problem is you don't have enough deals, right? So you need 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 deals cranking at all times, especially in this game. And as an individual, I see a lot of people trying to build the business, CRMs and amazing technology. Just give me a yellow notepad and a phone. I'm good. That's all I need. And the hardest part, thank God for Peter, wherever he's at, he's a technology engineer guy. He's been with me for a long time. And, you know, he came in, he's like, Mark, what the heck is going on here? He's actually helped with our processes at WCT and all that. So, you know, like, how can we streamline? How can, you know, he's a problem solver. I'm more create the problem, hand it off to Peter, and let him solve it. True story. So for me, I think, you know, finding great people, investing in them and investing in situations. I mean, there's so many lessons. I wish it was like simple, but stop trying to focus on amazing technology and actually just do the work. If you worked as hard, most people I meet, if they worked as hard as they did not wanting to work, just doing the work, they'd be like 10 times wealthier.
Good point.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how important it is to have good people around you, because I know personal experience, your people are your biggest asset and your biggest liability at the same time, right? How important is that?
Well, I have terrible people, so I'm probably not a good judge of character on this one, but good. So I think there's a couple levels to it. As a business owner, I think you need to have an entrepreneurial level, peer-to-peer, kind of like talking crazy, like, I'm going to do $2 billion this year. Here's what it's going to look like. I don't think you say that to your sales organization. I don't think you say, not to say, I try to be transparent with my whole team. Like, they know my good, my bad, what I'm great at. And I know my unique ability. So the team, without a team, you have nothing, right? Like, I can't be the quarterback, punter, wide receiver, you know, all that. I can't do it all anymore. But without it, I don't think you have, again, you don't have a business if you don't have a team. Yeah. And it's hard. Yeah. How do you find a good team member? Hire 10 and keep one. There's no other way. There's really no secret to that.
Hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah, and I'm very emotional. I always fire so slow. I'm so bad at it. Yeah, because it's like I care about people. You know, I want them to do well, and like I get more. This has happened recently. I'm more upset because I know they're capable of so much more, and I know I need to let someone go when I see their potential and they don't. You know, so if that makes sense. So it's like you got, like you said, fire fast, but easier said than done.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So
True.
talk about, so I know we were fortunate enough to go down and visit with you guys here recently, and we talked about a lot of different stuff, but I know that you were able to do some traveling early on, and you had some success, and you came back and you kind of shifted your focus a little bit. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, traveling's awesome, and, you know, everyone's like, oh, gosh, you travel. Like, people like me and all of us in here, if you're in business, I never go on vacation because I'm not running from anything. I love my life. Even the bad times, I love it because I'm like, I'm here for a reason. This is just a test. This is a chapter in a book that's just going to see how strong I am. And so, I mean, just traveling, like, I come from a small town, Ohio. I never got on a plane until I was 23 years old in my life. So, you know, when I got on the plane and I'm traveling, I'm like, this is interesting, right? Like, and I just started expanding my mind and, you know, my surroundings. Like, people spend $1,000 a night on a hotel room. Is that possible? You know, people fly on a jet for 50 grand round trip. How is that possible? Just started asking questions and challenging the status quo of what I knew, and getting very uncomfortable, very vulnerable, and not to be show-offy or flashy, but more to, like, challenge myself and, you know, how to take. Because the better I get, the stronger I get, the stronger my team gets. And I feel like that's what I'm here for, you know.
Yeah, it's been interesting as we've been doing this each month, and we bring in different speakers. The super successful people that come in and they talk about the limitlessness. They're not limiting themselves. Right. Can you talk a little bit about what something like that means to you? And how do you think that way? How do you get to that place where you're questioning everything, where you're pushing yourself to get to that limitlessness?
Yeah, I think it's like going to the gym, just working out. Drop the weights on your foot. Sometimes it hurts. I like watches, houses, and cars, and just crazy stuff. But I think the thing is, I don't know if there's a right or wrong. Truth is, sometimes you're going to feel like you're being selfish, and it's okay to be selfish. But no one ever told you it's okay to be selfish. And I got guys around me, and it's like, dude, you should be making $1 million a year. Most people around you, I'm just talking in generalizations, are trying to pull you down, not push you up. So there's no one in my group that I'm rolling with that's pushing anybody down. We all heard the saying, the rich get richer. Well, the reason is because we're all talking each other up. And, we're doing the work behind the scenes and making things happen. So the limitless piece, again, when we were hanging out, we went to HMF. Like, if you just see the beauty of these kind of things, there's $43 million condos in there. And people stay there maybe 3 nights a year, the people that own it. So it's just being around it. I think you just have to step outside of your boundaries. And again, it's not like when I first started doing that, I thought like, oh, I'm being show-offish and this and that. And the truth is, it has nothing to do with that. I'm wearing a crazy outfit today, but I usually wear flip-flops and shorts, But I'm just excited to actually put clothes on and hang out with people.
You've gotten a lot of compliments on the coat, I have to say.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't hear the compliments I heard behind the scenes. But, no, I'm all good. No, I don't know. Like, we brought down 10 guys in the jet, and that's like a $40,000 flight round trip, right? And I'm just sharing transparency with you guys. Like, it makes 0 sense to do that. If you try to make sense of it, it makes no sense. But I feel very confident the guys that flew with us changed their life, So, I don't know. It's a big piece. Yeah.
So can we? So let's jump forward a little bit. Let's talk about the last few years. So we are fortunate. We see the volume you all are doing, and we see the business, and we've been down to Florida, and we know. Can you share with some of the people that may not be familiar with what it is you all are doing, and talk about a little bit about maybe high level numbers of volume and that sort of thing we're talking about?
Yeah, we should bring Peter up for that one. I really am not in the day-to-day. Truthfully, I really am not in the day-to-days at all. Number-wise, I can tell you what we're trying to do globally. Our goal is 100 deals a month, clockwork, in multiple markets. We're in Columbus, Cleveland, Akron. We have big holdings in Georgia as well. We do have some strategic partnerships in a couple other markets. Probably my mother. Sorry. Couple other markets that I'm behind the scenes on financially. Pushing the needle, pushing the guys to dream bigger as well. That's really that's my strength, unique ability now. But our goal is 100 deals a month. I don't think we hit that often. We got some big deals working right now in Cleveland that will, probably pop off about 80 to 100 there in the next 30 days. But, we're a turnkey provider, right? So we buy the assets. We actually close on every asset. We clean them up. We put tenants in them, and then we sell them off. And, my mindset to that, again, and you guys, this is all public information, but we sell the houses for a pretty decent price. And people, like back in the day, I would sell that same house for probably $20,000 less. The only thing that's changed different is me, in my model. And again, I'm in it not to make the money, but to create value and create a longevity play, right? So a lot of you guys are in real estate, right, in here? Yeah. So appraisals, in 20 years, I've never been to a bank and never done an appraisal on a house, ever. And we've sell thousands and thousands of properties. Because our motto is we go after people who have cash. Right, that's our marketing machine. People have cash and lots of cash. Some of our clients have, hundreds of millions of dollars, and some have $100,000. But, there's a niche market in our space that say, hey, you have 500 grand sitting in an IRA. It's not making you anything. You probably don't even know what it's making you because you haven't checked your statements in 6 years because you're afraid to. And why don't you convert that to a self-directed Roth or whatever, convert it and buy some simple turnkey assets and just close them and make money.
So there's a good mix in here today. We have some from some of your guys and some of the investment side, and then we also have a lot of agents and some lenders here as well. If I'm here today and I'm an agent, what value should I be thinking about as far as bringing to an investor, or what's an investor looking for as well from an agent?
Hassle-free. The thing is, honestly, people are just lazy as hell. And, we deal with agents every day. My team does, and they blacklist agents because agents are lazy, and all people are lazy. Agents, investors, they just don't do that extra thing. And again, like they're like, well, you're not calling me back. Yeah, because we're actually busy. Like that's why. And I'm not going to do your work for you. And it's like, hey, we need 17 pictures. Here's what we need, blah, 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 blah. And it takes 3 days later, right? It's always urgent for them. Everything's urgent. Like as a real company, we can't be urgent. We have people, processes, procedures. Send in the pics. Here's what we do. Like we have a whole formula, you know? So I think the real thing is just be valuable. You know, come to me. And again, I hate when they come to us just to sell us something. Like, be valuable, be a person. This is a humanization business. This ain't just real estate, make money. If you're in it to make money, you can do that. But, like, if you really want to grow the business longevity, you can make way more money with a relationship.
So let's talk about that in practical terms. What does that mean to you? Bring value to us. What does that mean? Don't sell me in a practical.
Yeah, just, hey, you know, there's this new strategy, or, hey, I have this property over on the west side, 438, blah, blah, blah. You know, hey, check out this new market. Hey, the government's doing this in this area. You should check that. Like, do research. Like, you're in the grind, research it. You probably already know the information off your, you know, it's so natural to you. But my team's so busy. Like, we want to buy. The more we buy, the more we make. So we are real buyers to buy. So we're thinking, how can we get in? Like, how can you provide value? Like, you know, send us a nice card. Like, when's the last time you sent your client a thank you card or a thank you gift? I don't know the answer, but we spend a lot of money every month sending thank you cards, thank you gifts. Our buyers, our sellers, title companies, you guys have gotten gifts from us occasionally, my banker, like people we send gifts to all the time because it's like, hey, you know, thank you for your hard work. Who tells you that? No one. Very few people do that. So that's just like little stuff that you do that will separate you from the market. And again, you could have the most amazing follow-up system in the world, but if that humanization piece is missing, you're just a number in the system, you know? So I think that just sharing knowledge that we might not know, like, hey, there's a new buyer on the market, or, you know, hey, like, we have to do the work. I'm cool with that, and I understand the dynamics to that, but, like, bring us value.
You talked about the processes you have in place that with past clients and existing clients. Can you talk about what it is you guys are doing on a day-to-day basis to find deals?
Direct mail.
Direct mail?
Direct mail, 100%. Direct mail, by far, in business, for any business, is the best tool in the world, right? So for acquiring deals, direct mail. I mean, and then again, you know, if you're doing JV stuff, partnerships, like meet people, that's awesome too. But it's the most consistent, most resilient piece of marketing thing that I've been doing direct mail 20 years.
How many mail pieces are you doing a month?
Peter, it varies. I think the key is what you want to do is reverse engineer. That number changes a lot of levels. So let's say if you send out 1,000 postcards, you get a 5% response, you got 50 phone calls. Out of those 50 phone calls, you talk to 25 people, you get 7 contracts, you close 3 deals. There's a lot of dynamics. Are you good at closing? Do you follow up actually in a timely manner? What does your card say? What's your angle? What are you wholesaling, keeping, I mean, there's a lot of variables there. But I mean, if you send out 10,000 postcards a month, you're going to do pretty well. I mean, if I was an agent, I would be sending out investor-type postcards and just crushing it because no one does it. Like, it's just, people just don't market. I have no clue, but I don't know why, you know. Direct mail is amazing. And it doesn't cost money. It only makes you money. So the reason we're able to market heavy and hard is because we know our numbers, KPIs, your key performance indicators. If I spend $10,000 in direct mail this month, I'm going to get 1,800 leads. That equals X. I'm going to get 42 conversations. I'm going to get 10 deals. So I spent 10 grand to make 100 grand. Sign me up. I want to do it all day.
What else would you be doing right now if you were a real estate agent?
Working. I mean, so many people are just trying. It's not even just agents. It's just, I think it's our like, people are changing. I see it. Like, no one wants to put the work in. It really just put the work in. Like, there's great agents, and there's, you know, it's whatever. But what else? Again, provide value, do the work, market like a machine. Just bring value, not just on one side either. Like, if you have clients, like investor clients, educate your investor clients on how they can get access to more money. Because if they have access to more money, guess what they want to do with it? They want to buy more properties. So I educate. I think that's why I've been successful on my side. I educate all the time about money, IRA. I'm talking about stuff people don't like to talk about. But I promise you, if you have investor buyers, they're wondering how to get more money. They're wondering how to get hard money. Some people, I did some surveys on some people in here when the thing I sent, and some people are like, well, I want cheap money. No, you don't. You want money that makes sense. So stop looking at the little picture and start looking at the big picture. I got money I pay up to 18% on, but I pay 1.5 a month on that money, but I make $100,000 a month on the money, and I pay the guy $3,000 a month. Now, if you're only looking at that, oh my God, 18%, that's ridiculous, you just lost $100,000 a month. So, you got to look at things a little bit differently, look at full picture investing or opportunities, and just and be the driver. Like, again, don't go to your people when you need a deal. Go to them with opportunities, go to them with solutions, go to them and challenge them. Say, hey, check out this guy. He has $1 million on the streets now. Here's what he's doing. Again, these are all variables, but like, there's a lot of money for that kind of stuff, and no one's educating them that. Like, help be a resource,
So for the guys on the investment side that are here today but haven't been part of any of your mastermind or any of your trainings, what type of value are you providing in those?
For investors?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, on the investor side, I only work with guys doing deals, 1 to 2 deals a month minimum. It's not because I don't want to work with the beginners, but it's really hard for me to work with the beginner and say, send 200 postcards out and say this, and you're going to get calls, and I'm like, but then what do I say? I'm not good at that. But the guys that are actually doing the deals and in the grind, it's just really my guy. It's so easy for me now because it's just mindset, re-engineering the mindset. They have the tools. They have the understanding, the wherewithal. They know a seller will sell a $100,000 house for $40,000. I don't need to explain to them why that happens. So something like that. What was the question again?
Well, so I'm
thinking of 30 things here.
I get you going. That's good. I'm trying to cover a good mix of everyone we have here today.
Yeah.
So if I'm here today and I am an investor, but maybe I haven't come across what it is you all are doing,
Yeah.
What value would you be bringing to me?
Well, I'd love for you guys to bring us deals. My value is we have cash. We will close the deal when we say we're going to close the deal. Not to say we won't hit bumps in the road sometimes. That's called business. There's no emotion to it at all. That's another thing I see. These guys are emotional wrecks. I mean, I got investors. We're getting ready to fire one right now. A bird dog guy that's finding deals, and he's crying. It's amazing to me. I can't even believe the guy's married. His wife should divorce him. He's such a baby. It's just a joke. I'm like, it's weird, but like, it's not emotional. And if you bring the emotion to the table, you're really just hurting everybody involved, including yourself mostly. So, boom, here's the deal. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So if you come to us one way and you're saying this, but you really mean that, like, that's going to affect our relationship. So, we could help them by elevating their language, by elevating their knowledge base, by, if you bring deals and we say we're going to close on Thursday at 2 o'clock, if we don't, it's the title company's fault, not our fault. The money will be there, the deals will be there, but we'll have communication, and you're going to say, like, it's not last minute, oh my God, it falls. You guys deal deals, deals never fall apart, right? Like, they really don't fall apart, truthfully. Like, and if they do, I don't hear about them, but we work really hard that they don't fall apart. Deals, we talked about this when you guys were in Florida, deals don't fall apart at the closing table. Deals fall apart before, they just get recognized at the closing table. So if you're going to closings, I haven't been to a closing since December 31st, 2005, and we've closed thousands of deals in that time frame. I've not been to a closing. And everyone's like, oh my God, I got to do this at the closing and hold this guy's hand and, save the deal. And I'm like, well, you're just a terrible business guy then, because you should not have to do that. With the convenience, you guys are amazing and very convenient. You'll show up to their house. You'll do whatever to close the deal. So why would I want to drive across town to save $100? I don't even know what the fees are, $100, $125 for mobile notary or whatever it is. Just pay it for convenience, right? So that's the thing, is we don't kill our time with just like doing stuff. I don't need to be busy. I need to be productive.
Can we talk a little bit about how important it is to have partners at a ancillary level, title companies, if you are getting money, a lender, people that know what it is they're doing around you?
Well, I mean, if you're in a real business, it's crucial. We've had experiences with bad title companies. If you've never had a bad experience, you're not doing enough business, first of all. But we've had bad experiences with title companies, bad experiences with property management companies, bad experiences with appraisal companies, insurance companies. And when you find people, including on your team, internal team and external team, you just start creating collaboration. I think it's something we don't do enough to even internally. We talked about this in Florida. I wish we had more time to spend to do more deals together and just talk about business at a higher level. But I think without the team, you have nothing. I mean, you guys know Peter, like we all know each other, and I think we owe it to ourselves to like become better at that, because it's like, there's real lives behind this stuff. It's not just business, it's like lives, and we care about you guys, you care about us, I think, sometimes, and but no, we all care about each other, and like, we work things out. Like, there's problems in business and life, but the key is communication, clarification, and let's get it to close.
So we're going to switch gears. I want to talk a little bit about that other side of your life. But I want you all to keep in mind, we're going to be doing, we're going to have a little bit of Q&A. So if you're sitting on any questions, we're going to get to that here in a few as well. So let's switch gears. Talk about your life today. Talk about, I know you've been married a few years now, and you have Mark Jr., who's bouncing around. So talk about your life today. Talk about what it is you love about your life today.
What do I love about my life? Everything. Yeah. I mean, I'm 6'2", athletic built, charming, but yeah, great sense of fashion, as she says. No, I have a beautiful wife. We've been together 12 years. Very fortunate to be able to travel many, many years and do amazing stuff together. And I figured if I can travel 7 years with someone and I haven't killed her, she hasn't killed me, we could probably figure out how to get married. And we were engaged 8 years, got married 2 years ago. August 28th actually will be 2 years. Honestly, I focus on the team. I focus on the drive of the money. I am the money driver. Like all business owners, is the main person figuring out where the money's coming from, how you're going to drive it, what are you going to do with it. Peter and my team are amazing at delegating, allocating, and doing the proper things. So I don't have that in the back of my head. Like if Peter has an extra $1 million, he's going to do the right thing. I think. And, but no, I wake up, I have a beautiful 11-month-old boy. He's awesome, and my wife's awesome, and, we're getting ready to do some more travel. We have a great house up in Shaker Heights we're getting ready to move up into, live in Palm Beach, Florida, the other half of the year, 6 months, 1 day at least, for tax reasons, and it's beautiful. That's where our office is at as well. I don't go to the office. I'm a non-office guy.
What's an average day for Mark look like?
Yeah, I mean, I get up early. I'm usually up around 5-ish. I like to get to Starbucks around 6 a.m., do my things. Like from 6 to 10 a.m. is my time to send 3,000 emails to Peter. Where are we at here? But, check my numbers, my stats. I do a 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. call with my team, my sales team. Just a quick huddle. Where are you at? How many deals you got on the plate? What do you need help with? What questions you got? Boom, next person. Very quick, 10 minutes and on and off. Do that. Typically go to the cigar bar, have a cigar for an hour or two. Not just for a cigar, but usually working, relaxing, thinking something different, or strategic marketing with, Patrick, the guy that's helped me on some marketing stuff at a high level. I eat like an old person. I go to dinner at 5 o'clock. My friends make fun of me like that, but I like to eat early and hang out with my wife and kid. I spend a lot of time with my family. Getting ready to travel, like I said, getting ready to go to Italy for 5 weeks here in September, and just build the business. I mean, I really, I love every day of the business. Yeah. Even when I'm screaming at Peter and he's screaming at me and I'm laughing, and 3 seconds later, we're like, all right, let's go get a beer now. We're done. Let's figure this out. Because we're passionate. It's a passionate life. It's a passionate process. And more importantly, our clients, we change their lives. I mean, the stories we get, we don't share them enough, and it's silly on our part, but we're so busy being busy in the business. But our clients, and it's not millions of dollars. Some of them don't need millions of dollars a month in revenue, but if my father-in-law, for example, he gets an extra $800 a month on some investments he's with us, that changed his life for real. It sounds silly, well, might not sound silly, but $800 a month is a game changer for him. So I'm just very happy that's going on, and my team is amazing to help me do that. Yeah.
What's next? What's the direction that you're pushing? Where are you trying to grow to? Where's the vision going?
Good question. I mean, we try to revisit it every quarter because I think it changes. Not necessarily direction, but maybe, so in business, right, the way to make money is double your business, double your profits, et cetera, right? So we're looking now, we're doing pretty well. I think we should be doing 2 times better, but there are a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that has to happen to make that a reality. It's easy to say, let's do 200 deals, right? But the reality of that is a little bit different. Well, yeah, we're trying to clone Peter. If you guys, this is a technology place. We can figure that out. I've seen his brain. It's not that big. I promise. Microchip, but for us, like, we're really, so Patrick he's here with me. Like, I'm really cranking up the front end marketing piece. I'm investing hundreds of thousands of dollars right now testing some stuff. I think we're onto something. I don't know yet. But our thing is again, I don't have a deal making problem. I have a, people don't know who we are problem. So how do I market harder? How do I spend more money? How do I do something different and be a little bit more bold? So I think in the last 90 days, let's call it, we've got 72,000 people that's figuring out who we are. We're putting them through a process, a funnel, and all that. And we're just, sharing powerful information and saying, hey, if you're sick and tired of the market, give us a call. Like, it's very soft. We're not hardcore sales guys. We're very consultative style. So good news is one of our team members has a baby tomorrow, so that's exciting. So that's going to change the dynamics in the office a little bit. But we're growing the team. We just got a new sales girl in the office, which is awesome. Changed her life, which is cool too, right? As a business owner, she was working in retail, never home at night, never home on the weekends, never home on holidays, and she has 2 great kids. And now she comes to work with us and she can be home on the weekends. But that's a big deal. And I think, I kind of don't think it like that anymore. But when she told me, I'm like, wow, it's awesome. But it started with the vision, implementation, fighting every day, and just keeping it going.